One reason you would want a projector in your home is the cinema-like feel you get watching on a blank wall stretching up to 200-inch diagonally for the most immersive experience without leaving the comforts of your bed or living room. Unless you're willing to spend a fortune, you typically have to compromise with quality because conventional TVs are just better for picture quality. If there's one thing small projectors aren't good at, it's picture quality. However, that doesn't mean they are not suitable for what it's worth. Sometimes, small projectors are the only way to go for those limited spaces at home. Having tested the FunFoox Veno, a portable projector that's easy to set up and use, I have some thoughts about buying a small projector. For only 4,500 Philippine peso, the Veno is a sleek-looking portable projector with 180-degree tilting and a projection size of up to 200-inch diagonal. While it can only output 720p resolution, you'll be surprised to see up to 4K support when playing local media files. Links in the description if you're interested. You're wrong if you think you will compromise the port selection by choosing small projectors like other normal-sized ones. The Veno has an AV connector, a USB-A for external devices, including keyboard support, regular HDMI, an IR blaster for the remote control, and even a headphone jack. I even managed to run Samsung DeX using my old Galaxy Note 9 through a wired USB-C to HDMI cable. By the way, there's the power connector too. As far as the build goes, the Veno is mostly made of plastic with the exception of the metal stand that allows it to tilt 180 degrees. There are vents on the side and another one on the back for the exhaust. Although the Veno stays warm, you can hear the fan spin a bit but not to the point of being annoying. The dual 3-watt speaker is expected to be okay for the size, although you can pair a Bluetooth speaker for better audio. I found myself not minding the built-in speaker since I only watch anime and YouTube here, but more on that later. There are 4 buttons on the top of the Veno, which should be enough if you're going to use this as a laptop screen extension for presentations, but if you need to navigate around, you need the remote control since you don't have directional buttons on the projector itself. You have this fabric finish on the front where the lens and the sensor for the projection sit. While you can still mount the Veno to a tripod or stand, you do get rubber feet at the bottom and on the handle. At 1 kilogram, the Veno is lightweight enough to be placed almost anywhere, including a shelf or a cabinet. That's just one of the pros when buying a small projector. The Veno runs on Android 11 with a custom skin on top. Unfortunately, you don't get Widevine L1 certification that allows it to play high-definition video on streaming platforms like Netflix or Amazon, but you still get up to 1080p playback on YouTube if only the apps were working as intended. For some reason, some apps don't detect the network despite being connected to 2 different internet providers. I even tried changing the date of the Veno, which is a common fix for other projectors, but I met the same problem here. There are a couple of ways to get around this. One is to buy a TV stick, and 2 is to connect your mobile device either wirelessly or wired. Yes, Veno supports Android and iOS casting, although you need to open 2 separate apps on the projector, but for no latency projection, you can go wired like I did with my Galaxy Note 9. However, unlike Apple's iPads, most devices don't have HDMI out support, so do take note of that. If you do plan to use Veno as a gaming projector, there is noticeable latency and the response does not feel instant. Let's finally discuss picture quality. Despite the 720p resolution, the Veno makes up for it with its brighter than average throw at 7200 lumens. Props to FunFoox for that. This makes viewing better, especially when you're between the 50 to 60 inch screen range, but at 200 inch it is easy to notice the blocky pixels. Although high resolution videos help make the pixels less noticeable, they are still not as good as native 1080p or 4K support. And again, that's just one of the things you need to consider when working with small projectors. While it's possible to go large, it's not always the best option. You want to play with the strongest suit of these ones, which is sticking to smaller screen sizes for a brighter and sharper output. Additionally, the colors look decent enough to enjoy YouTube videos. If you're not a stickler for picture quality, the Veno may be good enough, but I would need something better for someone like me who usually watches movies and series in HDR and Dolby Vision. The Veno does support HDR, but it's too dark to see anything even at night. When setting up the Veno, the autofocus is fast and easy to calibrate thanks to the function provided on the remote. However, keystone correction must be manually done if you're going to use this off angle, but when pointed dead straight to a wall, the frame is nearly perfect. Considering the price of the FunFoox Veno, some compromises are to be expected. With that said, if you want a better version of this one, you can get the Revo or Pista model for double the price. They go up to 9500 lumens, support 1080p native resolution, automatic keystone correction, and up to 260-inch projection while keeping the same size. So there you go. Drop a sub or like if you like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.